Welcome to Gulfstream today, and welcome to Gulfstream Park. Ron Nicoletti, along with Acacia Courtney, and it is the start of another fun week here in South Florida. And guess what? Just in, the weather is warm, and we have a fast main track and a firm turf course this afternoon.
Yeah, and a shocking turn of events. It's warm in South Florida, and we were talking about this morning. They said that you get used to it, but you never really get used to it. But we're lucky. We've had a lot of sunshine, as you said, fast main track, firm turf course, and something else exciting coming up.
And go ahead.
Oh,
You handle it.
tomorrow, you have to beat the expert. It's going to be Friday. Again, if you missed out last week or any of the other times that we played this really fun game, there are 10 races tomorrow. Past couple weeks, we've had 9 races, so 10 races tomorrow that you have to go on to GulfstreamPark.com or our Facebook page, facebook.com/GulfstreamPark. Enter your top picks for tomorrow and see if you can pick more winners than I can.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun tweeting back with people and texting and stuff. So trying to beat the expert tomorrow. And as you mentioned, that 10 race card. Today, Thursday, we have a 9 race card. And let's go through the wagering menu this afternoon. We started right in race 1 with the early pick 5 today. And Acacia will have a ticket in just a couple of moments. Race 2, pay attention now. Our first rolling super high 5 of the day. And we have a carryover left over from Sunday evening of $11,500. So they are going to hammer that thing this afternoon. They bet last couple of days watches right at the end. You get like 30, 40, 50,000 in those pools. So pay attention to that. We mentioned the 9 race cards. So the Rainbow 6 will start in race number 4. And that's getting up there too, $68,000 plus. It was over $100,000 on Sunday. I'm expecting that again today. See if you can nail that for 20 cents. And then we end the day with our final pick 5 of the afternoon. And Acacia will show you one of those, her other ticket in just a little while. So got a lot to do today. We got the fast main track. We got the firm turf course. We got the nice carryovers. We got Beat the Expert tomorrow. So you can start handicapping those races. Are they online yet?
Yep, they're there. So my selections are in, so you can start doing your homework to get your selections in for tomorrow. You have up until post time of the first race, and if you win, you'll have the chance to get one of those great Gulfstream Park polo shirts plus the bragging rights to say you beat the expert.
Yeah, that bragging rights, that's the key there right there. Let's go to race number 1 today. This one is 5 furlongs on the turf. Claimers, fillies, and mares. They're 3-year-olds and upward, or a turf race since January 14th, or 3-year-olds. And we do have a scratch in here of number 7, Glass of Wine. And this destroyed my co-host this morning. She likes Glass of Wine. I don't know if she likes the wine more than the horse or the name of the horse.
Well, I was waiting for this horse to come back. I will give you that. But yes,
okay.
An upsetting scratch today.
Well, let's see your pick 5 ticket and how you worked it out with the scratch of Glass of Wine.
Well, I went too deep here in this first leg. I really liked Glass of Wine as well as the number 4, Crime Buzz. I almost singled Crime Buzz to kick it off, but you know how I feel about singling in the first leg. So I ended up going 2 deep, but a pretty affordable ticket here today. 2 deep and 3 deep in races 3 and 4 for just $36 today.
$36, a very affordable ticket, and I went a little different way. I do have Crime Buzz, who I think is the one to beat in the opening event, but I started my ticket off with the number 1 in here, and that's Awesome and Then Some, and I'll tell you why. He's going to depart from the rail. He broke towards the outside last time out, but he went up. He set fractions of 21 and 3, 44 flat before weakening at the 16th pole. Finished 3rd at this level in distance, which was the first start since moving to the Dan Peter barn, Cornelio Velasquez. And this is very simple on my part. I'm going with the inside speed, first race of the week, to see if this horse can go and maybe go out there and lead, make every call winning one. So Awesome and Then Some. But as I said, Crime Buzz is the one to beat.
Well, certainly, and I think that the speed from the rail will really be key with Awesome and Then Some. Crime Buzz does have the ability to show some speed, but her most recent win was on a race taken off the turf in the mud. She went wire to wire that day. She had a slow start last time out, so I want to go back and show you that race, show how she got off really slowly at the start when she moved back over to the turf. This was against similar company. You see she's the number 5 here. This was back on June 17th, and you see there she's just way behind the rest of the field, so it took her a little while to get going. And you look back in her past performances, the races in which she's been most successful, she's been a little bit more forwardly placed. So I'm hoping that she takes advantage of, doesn't try to go too much out there with Awesome and Then Some, but is a little bit more forwardly placed.
Yeah, and you know, we always tell you about the conditions of the race. I read them at the top of the show, and this one is a 3-time winning daughter of Wildcat Air, so she fits the conditions perfectly. A lot of other horses in the race, all looking for their 3rd career victory, so certainly she enjoys the conditions here, or She, as I said, being a three-time winner. Now, who else did you use on your ticket? You went with Red Agia.
Oh, I did. I went with the one right next door, and this one, it stretched out a little bit to 7.5 furlongs last time out and found a good turf course. I don't think that was really to her liking. She ended up giving way there, but two back had a very nice win against next out winner Miss Mongolia. She won that race by a length and a quarter, so she's going back down to the distance. She's also working really nicely for this return to the 5 furlongs.
Well, we were not too much in agreement today, except with Crime Buzz in this race. I went to the 5 in there, and this one I added with the scratch of Glass of Wine. Don't Tell Vanessa, who's cutting back to 5 furlongs, a race where she's had some success, 3 starts, a win, and a second. After, I thought, an even performance against 12-5 optional claimers, she broke 4th in that race, and she finished 4th. But Monty Thomas, very good with his turf sprinters. He wins at about a 26% rate, and I just thought this horse, maybe 6-1 on the morning line or something like that. Maybe you get that when they go off here. I don't think so with the scratch of the number 7, but a horse that you might want to add to your exacta or trifecta ticket.
Well, certainly she might get a little bit more attention. She's one that could certainly sit a good trip. I went with the number 2, Sakar. I was back in the Rodolfo Garcia barn. Back at Gulfstream Park West, had 2 wins in a row against this similar level of competition and at this distance. So I'm hoping might be able to get back to this form, and another one working nicely.
Let's go to race number 2, and this one is 6 furlong maiden claiming event, 3-year-olds and up. The claiming level is $20,000 down to $16,000. No scratches or jockey changes, and it looks like I'm going to get another dance lesson today with the number 4, Whip and Nene, the one we both have on top of our ticket. I'm going to get this right yet. If it wins, I'll do it. That's it.
Okay. So since we both have this horse on tap, now we're really hoping that it comes through so that we can see Ronnie, Whip, and Nene. We've been practicing, so we're going to have to practice a little bit more today so that we're ready for it, because this one looks like he's just spotted perfectly in this race today. Debuted against $25,000 maidens and finished a respectable second ahead of a next out winner named Candy Jam. Stepped up in class last time out, and I don't think that was the right spot for him. Going back down now, and I think that this is exactly the place where he needs to be.
Yeah, and that was a 45,000 event at 7 furlongs. I'm in total agreement with you there. I went in a little different way in second with the number 7, and that's Runaway Bull. The off-time favorite when sprinting on the 3rd. That's 2 starts back. Is going back to the main track, cutting back to a sprint distance today after rallying at the quarter pole. He finished 3rd. That was against $16,000 claimers. That was going 2 turns on the turf, 7.5 furlongs. Luca Panici riding great form, the old turf to dirt angle. So I threw the number 7 Runaway Bull on my ticket this afternoon, and this horse right up there on the, I think, second choice on the morning line.
Yeah, I could certainly see this one moving back over to the dirt. Last dirt start was respectable in second. I went with the one from the rail in second, who you used as well on your ticket. This one's a first-time gelding, coming over from Pimlico on a good main track last time out. Finished 3rd against $25,000 maidens, and just didn't really have much room to run in that race. I think first-time gelding, trying his hand locally here once again. Actually debuted at Gulfstream. So we'll see if this one with the ultimate equipment change can do some damage.
Yeah, formerly in the Marcus Vitale barn, now going to run here under Alan Hunter Jr. And this one, as you mentioned, that was a good track, a sealed good track at Pimlico. And I think a logical contender in there. And you also used the number 3 in here, and that's Salt Lake Beauty.
Well, this one's a first-time starter from the Larry Pilati barn. I thought this was a relatively wide-open race besides Whip and Nene, and it looks like #win is probably a logical one as well. And wasn't enamored with Runaway Bull in 0 for 10, so I threw in a first-time starter.
Let's go to race number 3 this afternoon, and this one is a 1-mile turf event. These are maiden claimers, 3 and up, $40,000 down to $30,000. No scratches or jockey changes, and we both went to the inside with number 1, Word on the Street.
This horse has had 1 start so far from the Ralph Nix barn. Debuted against $35,000 maidens, 7.5 on the turf. Finished second, beaten just by half a length that day. And I thought it was a very good performance, working well after that too. Going to get a little slight stretch out to the mile here.
Yeah, let's go back and show you the stretch run of that last performance. And I thought it was good too. And this is one Word on the Street that particular day was the number 6 horse. And you see this horse, turning for home at the top of the stretch. Just comes up and, just runs runs a really good race in here, comes up, and as you mentioned, finishes second. That's at 7.5 furlong to debut. And this horse just kept coming. I thought it was going to win at this particular time. And if you heard the stretch call of Pete Aiello, he thought that this horse had a big shot too, like I did, and just runs out of real estate. So I thought of that performance, stretching out slightly to the mile. It looks like he just needed a little more ground to win the last one, getting that today.
I think it's exactly what the doctor ordered for Word on the Street. I also used the number 2, Visky Jones, who you did as well. This one finished third at the mile last time out, being about 2.25 lengths, having to go wide, and I think might be able to be in a good spot here today. 2 back tried made in special weight company, drop back down for the tag, and I think that this is where he needs to be.
Yeah, and Tyler Gaffney only be riding today, and they're riding in good form. The horse I used in second is actually the morning long favorite, and that is 6 Give to UK Cats, now in the Alla Hunter Jr. barn. One that was also in the Marcus Vitale barn. This one returns to Gulfstream turf, a surface where he came within a half length of defeating $50,000 maidens at the distance back on April 2nd. So going back and retracking, looking at that race, I think this horse shown a fondness for the local turf. Maybe a grab a share, and the line maker certainly thought so, put him on top. I'm not so sure about that. I like the one better than that. Now, who else did you use in here?
Well, one of my concerns about this 6, and the reason that I didn't end up putting him on, is that he doesn't seem to be the most consistent start. It looks like he wants to do some late running. Wasn't really sure how much early speed there'd be in this field. So I put on the number 4, Ozymandias, who's 8-1 on the morning line from the Mike Maker barn. Debuted on a good turf at 1 1/16, which is a big asking for a first-time starter. Now going to drop into Claiming Company. I want to give you a stat on trainer Mike Maker. In the past 5 years, with horses going maiden special weight, 2 maiden Claiming on the turf, a relatively small sample, but pretty strong numbers. 7 for 43, 16% win, 24 for 43, about 56% of the time in the money. And this was key to me, that there's still a positive ROI of 225. You didn't really see much from this horse in his debut, but maybe with the class relief.
Yeah, I mean, I understand totally having this horse on your ticket just for the connections alone. So that is how we see the third race this afternoon. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll show you my Rainbow Six ticket, as we mentioned, approaching $70,000 in that pool. Race number 4 this afternoon will be a 5 furlong maiden claiming event for 2-year-old fillies. They're going to run for a $25,000 tag. And as we said, Rainbow Six will start in race number 4 this afternoon. Let's go to my ticket, and you'll see I went 3 deep, 3 deep, 3 deep, 3 deep, and 3 deep, and I singled the horse in the last today, and that is the one Britannia's Motors, coming out of a key race, $48.60. The reason I went 3 deep in there, because these races were all wide open to me, and interested to see how you started the 4th race off.
Well, I agree with you. These were some pretty wide open races in here. I went with the number 6, Driving Mrs. B on top, who's going to get blinkers for the first time, also taking a big drop in class. First 2 races were against maiden special weight company, now dropping into maiden Claiming, and I think that the addition of blinkers might be a little bit more forwardly placed, plus that class relief.
Well, we're basically in agreement. We've got our trifecta, boxed up around there, but I went with the 2 Faith and Hope, and I'll tell you why. Dropping into the maiden Claiming ranks after finishing a distant 4th behind the next out Astoria Stakes winner. That was Bodie's Dream. That was her maiden special weight debut, going 4.5 furlongs. Trainer Juan Arias, he's pretty solid, 17%, with maidens making their second start. So I'm putting her on the ticket because she was flattered by Bodie's Dream, and went back and ran really well in the Astoria Stakes. But I can understand, too, having the number 6, Driving Mrs. B, right on top of the ticket. Mike Yates, Jose Alvarez handling that drop down today. You did split it with the number 3, and that is Lally, who I also used on my ticket.
A first-time starter from the barn of Dane Kubisky, and we talk about this a lot, that Dane Kubisky's 2-year-olds often really run well. I think really often they need a race first, so have this one on the ticket, looking to see some good stuff for perhaps next time.
Yeah, I just didn't like I wasn't enamored. I mean, enough to put it on the ticket because of the connections, but I just thought the workout
Yeah.
pattern was nothing spectacular in there. So I put the horse in third because I do respect the connections and everything like that. But off the workout pattern, I think I might watch one there, but I did go 3 deep because I don't want to get beat by Dane Kabinski.
No, don't want to do that, especially in the first leg.
Right. Hey, I'm learning that from her. You don't want to get knocked out right away, so I put my single in the last race today. Let's go to race number 5, and this one is a 1-mile turf claiming event. 3-year-olds and up, $12,500. Have a scratch in here of number 6, Angels C. And the 5th race today is where we start our final pick 5 of the afternoon. Acacia's going to show you her ticket.
Well, no single for me in the late pick 5 either. $40. I went pretty deep in the 6th race. I just thought this was such a wide open race. So went too deep in the rest. I did use that number 1 Britannia's Mo in the very last leg. But $40, still tried to keep it affordable, but couldn't settle on one particular horse in
Yeah,
any
pick 5s have been going good too. She keeps getting knocked out with one the last couple of days, but they've been right there. So we'll see how this one plays out today. And both horses that you used on your ticket, I had on my ticket. I don't know what. We're in total agreement on the top 2 selections. So you started it off with the number 5, and that is Fan Base.
Well, this one just has been in such good form. And now moving over into the barn of Marcial Navarro, has some early speed, was the favorite the last 4 times. 2 of those were wins, and just this one's a 14-time winner and a 6-time winner here locally on the Gulfstream Park turf. I just think spotted well here again today. I like the barn switch, and I like the form that this horse has been keeping.
Yeah, and I think can turn out to be the speed in here. Find some other speed. Maybe you can, or something like that. I just thought Fan Base had it all locked up as far as having the tactical ability. Doesn't mean this horse has to be on the front end, but I just think it has the tactical ability to be where the horse wants to be to win. You mentioned the 14-time winner, Eddie Castro. Not only a 14 winner, a 6-time local winner on the local turf. So lots of things to like. Now you use the number 4 Easement in second.
Well, this one does some late running. This one's a 5-time winner at this distance. I want to go back and show the last start for Easement, which was actually a win, but this was on June 4th, a mile on the turf. You see the number 8 there just really lacked room entering the turn. Didn't really have any place to go. And you see that's when started to go wide. And it looks like some of the horses out in front are just positioned better, and it just keeps on rolling. And with the only speed appearing to be from Fan Base, that was what left me the concern for this one. Is going to have much to run at in here, but I thought such a game performance to end up getting that win, even when not having the ideal running room.
Yeah, and another horse for course play. This horse 15 races on the Gulfstream Park turf with 5 wins, a 2nd and 3 thirds. So loves this turf course, and you got to use both those horses on your ticket. You saw the trouble that it had last time out. Now you closed it out with the number 8 horse in there, and I believe that's Muser.
And this one's one that has hit the board in the past few starts, just kind of looking for best of the rest in here. Luca Panici in the saddle. You mentioned how well Luca's been riding in good form lately. Was 4th last time out at the mile when cutting back in distance, but was only beaten by a length and 3/4, and I think eligible to hit the board.
Well, I got a 12-1 shot on the bottom. I think maybe this horse who does his best running, I'm talking about Cantonero, number 1, does his best running from off the pace, is making the 3rd start, back from the layoff and stretching out to the mile for trainer Wesley Ward. The concern is the lack of a strong pace, I thought, and he had needed to complement his late running style. So we'll see how this horse plays out. But if I can get 12-1 on Wesley Ward, I'm going to be sneaking around and add this horse somewhere on my super high 5 ticket or something like that.
Yeah, you obviously can't ignore the connections. There were still some question marks left for this horse, now third off of about a 15-month layoff. But with Wesley Ward, you can't ever leave that one off. We learned, right?
Yep. 6th race this afternoon, 5 furlongs. These are maiden claiming 2-year-olds $50,000 and 9 runners in the race. And it's a pretty nice race in here. And we are not in agreement with our top pick. You did go with the horse I did not use, and that is the number 8.
Road to Happiness. Yeah, this one is just kind of based off pedigree and the works. This one's from the Phil Gleaves barn, debuting with Lasix, a first-time starter. The dam was a graded stakes placed horse, stakes winner in her own right, and Phil Gleaves actually had a maiden claimer winner named Formal last Saturday, won by 4.5 lengths. So the barn's been doing pretty well with maidens. And I just thought off of the work tab in this one, couldn't really settle on anything else. Actually, 9-2 on the morning line. But again, I thought this was a really wide open race.
Yeah, I did not use that one, and just they mentioned the connections there. I thought I'd watch one with that horse, but I did go with the number 5, Pure Synergy, and this is son of Candy Ride and a half brother to a horse called Lake Sebago, who won a pair of $100,000 stakes at age 2 and was second in the other. So there's lots of win early form in this breeding here. Trainer Stanley Gold, Tyler Gaffleone in the saddle. I like this number 5, Pure Synergy, a first-time starter from, as I mentioned, the Stanley Gold Barn, who is someone in its family who won 2 stakes at 2.
Right, and I totally understand having this one on there. I didn't love the work tab for this horse, but certainly have to respect the breeding. Actually, want to give you a Steyr stat on Candy Ride with 2-year-olds on the dirt. 53 for 291, about an 18% win average, so pretty strong there for Candy Ride as a sire with those 2-year-olds on the dirt. One you have to have on.
Yeah, she just sold it for me. Now I like it even more, so there you go. So I used the number 4 in second, and that is Little Lover Boy, named after Dennis, our cameraman. This one is the son of Win Early sire, Wildcat Air. Wildcat Air, we've been talking about Wildcat Airs a lot here. They like to win early, about 18%. Debuting for trainer Carlo Baccareza. Steady morning workout regimen at Palmetto, showing a preparation for the debut. I like the way this horse is working. Thought he'd grab a share on the ticket. Got you laughing on that one.
You got me on that one. Well, I went with the number 3. Cantaclaro. This one from the Rodolfo Garcia barn. Carlos Olivero going to be aboard, working really strongly coming into today. The dam was multiple graded stakes place and a stakes winner in her own right. And the sire, Hansen, new sire, just 2 for 10, only had 6 foals to run so far. So might be interesting to see how his progeny are going to do.
And, when we saw your Pick 5 ticket, we saw that you used a lot of horses in there. And this is the exact reason why. There's so many horses that have working well enough to win first out, a couple of horses. It's just a wide open affair. So the other horse that I used was the one Put the Hat Back. It's the son of Put It Back, debuting for Jessica Campitelli. 6 local workouts, which includes that solid 3 furlong work. 36 flat when breezing from the gate. Are you going to be okay?
I'm going to be fine. Let's go to race number 7.
All right, we're going to get away from that one so she could. She keeps looking at Dennis. I don't know why. Race number 7 this afternoon. 5 furlongs on the turf. Fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. Non-winners of 2 races in life. $10,000. Scratch the also eligible number 9, Sienna Slew. And we both do have number 7, Revolver Sessions, on top of our ticket. And this one, I want to go back and show you this horse's last performance before we get into. I just thought at the start, this horse you'll see gets bumped and gets knocked back. At the last here, that's the number 5. Just gets bumped back at last, and then when it turns for home, we're going to switch to the top of the stretch. I thought it ran very well to be second in that race. And with these type of races at that distance, you can't give up that much. In the beginning. Now the horse, I don't think on the outside he's had that free run, comes up and just nails it at the wire. But I thought with the trouble at the beginning and running a real good second in here, this horse was deserved to be on top of my ticket. Love the name Revolver Sessions, I guess named after the Beatles' Revolver album.
Well, that race was also first off of about an 8-month layoff as well, and I think that this horse looks to be the main speed in here. Some pretty fast fractions, went 21-2 for the opening quarter for that last race, as you mentioned, even though there was some traffic trouble for that horse. Also ran naked last time out, took the blinkers off, took the Lasix off, so that was the first start without all of that, and I think really sets up well for her today.
Yeah, I think she gets out of the gate. She wins this one. The horse that I have in second, you have in third. But let's talk about the number 6, Love Flu, that gets in light with 10-pound apprentice Martin Metcalf in there. I'm not aware of this jock yet, so we'll see how he runs.
Well, I'm just going based off of this most recent performance. 2 back, had stretched out to the mile and ran a pretty decent third that day. Cut back in distance last time out, back to the 5 furlongs and finished second, only beaten by 3/4 of a length, lacked room. The question mark, the big one here, is that this horse is just 1 for 22 in lifetime starts, but I think might be able to sit a pretty good trip behind the speed of Revolver Sessions and certainly spotted well.
Yeah, I went with the number 4, Don's Girl, is hoping to save a little more for the stretch run. Surrendered that late great lead to finish third at this level, and this is but a similar thing. 1 for 19 record, is hard to dismiss. So we'll see how that plays out. But it certainly makes the number 7 Revolver Sessions look pretty good in there, and we'll see how. I believe I made a mistake with that. There was a jockey change. Richard Mitchell will be riding Love Flute. I'll make that change. This was the first cut. Had that 10-pound apprentice. I guess not riding today, so we'll check that out when we come back. Race number 8, 6 furlongs. This one's an allowance optional claim of fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. They can run for that optional claiming price of $16,000. 6 runners in the field, and number 5 Cult Classic has certainly trained consistently for the first start since returning from that 9-month layoff.
Well, came off of a 9-month layoff, 2 back. That last start was in August of 2015 up at Saratoga. Took those 9 months off, came back at the start of May, and finished a respectable second. Was the favorite that day, but was second, beating about 6 lengths that day. But again, that was off that layoff, and I think training steadily here. Now certainly looking for that second victory.
Yeah, lightly raced 4-year-old daughter of Quality Road, so there was some concerns early on, but came back and ran pretty nice off that layoff. So number 5, a Cult Classic on top of our ticket, and we both used the number 2 Formal Class in second, who broke a maiden here at this distance back in March.
Well, this one's never really run a bad step with the exception of her debut. Very first start, well beaten that day, angled out, came back, won by 3/4 of a length, won by 6 the next time out against $25,000 optional claimers. Second last time out, even after experiencing some traffic trouble that was over at Penn National. And I think looks like maybe able to return locally and get another win here.
Yeah, I mean, she's run okay. You mentioned that last race. She's a Pennsylvania bred, up at Penn National on May 26th. So I thought a logical choice in there. I like the 5 in there, Cult Classic, to get the job done. But the Formal Class has some back class, so we're in total agreement here. So take it away with number 3, Black Air.
Oh, this one's hit the board in quite a few starts. This is 3 for 20 in lifetime starts. Last 2 races were third place finishes, beaten about 6.5 last time and 3.5 prior to that. But I think, had a little bit of traffic last time out against the rail in that most recent start, so might be able to hit the board once again.
Well, let's go to race number 9 this afternoon, and this is 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf. Claimers 3 and up. Non-winners of 2 races in life, $10,000. We have our exacta flip-flop, and this is where I had my single on my Rainbow 6 ticket, and I'll tell you why I like the one Britannia's Mode a lot. This one is stretching out to 1 mile and 16th. Rallied to finish third, but rallied in front of a trio of next out winners, so it was a key $10,000 2 lifetime claimer going 7.5 furlongs. The trainer is Marcial Navarro, Eddie Castro, and this one is also a previous winner at this 1 mile and 16th distance, so enough for me to like with the key race and all that. Previous winner at the distance to make this one my single on the ticket, but I could totally understand having the 8 C Cookie on the ticket.
Well, the reason that I went with C Cookie over Britannia's Mo, the big glaring thing for me with Britannia's Mo is that just 1 for 8 at this distance. So yes, does have a win, but it was only out of 8 starts at this distance. 2 back actually got a win, but was disqualified for drifting and ended up third. Was third last time out as the favorite at 7.5. I think maybe a little bit extra real estate, but I just felt that there were still a few question marks and holes in this horse, so I ended up going with C Cookie, who, yes, was 4th last time out, though only beaten by 2 3/4 lengths. That was at the mile. Does a lot of nice late running. Going to get some blinkers today, and I think that this horse, one of the big things for me, working very nicely coming into today as well. July 6th at Gulfstream Park West, went 37 and flat from the gate, and that's, very strong over there. So I think that this horse might be primed, especially with the addition of blinkers.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be closer to the pace. If you go by that workout, looks like the blinkers are going to do the trick, or certainly made him focus and put in a bullet workout. So number 8 C Cookie, if I could have gone deeper and made my ticket bigger, this one would have certainly been on my ticket. You went all the way to the outside with your third pick, the number 10 Slapjack.
And this one's moved back to the turf a couple starts back. Got checked and had to steady last time out to be pretty well beaten, about 6 lengths, but can stretch out a little bit. And only run at this distance once before, but I just thought to rally out the top 3.
Well, number 3, Dane's Pulpit, is stretching out an additional 1/16 of a mile today. Responded in a surface switch by coming within 3/4 of a length of springing a 21-1 upset. Went second at this level going a mile. Looks like this horse is woken up on the turf. Going to stretch out today, 21 41 to 1 last time out. Don't know what he's on the morning line.
4 to 1.
4
I
to
don't
1
think
to-
you're going to get that kind of price again.
Well, there you go. So, what's the old saying? I keep screwing that old saying up. You went to the wedding, you didn't go to the funerals.
Something like that.
Whatever it is, it's something like that. Well, that is how we see our 9-race card. We got the fast main track firm turf course, but more importantly, after you get through today, make all this money, you have to pay attention to tomorrow and try and beat the expert.
Yeah, the best part is with all the money that you make today, you don't even have to spend it on Beat the Expert. You can just save it for tomorrow's Rainbow Six. Head on over GulfstreamPark.com, free to enter. Pick your 10 winners for tomorrow and see if you can pick more than I can.